Good afternoon, my beloved students at home. I'm Mahmoud Azim. I'm here to present. I'm your biology teacher. I'm here to teach you genetics. Our lesson objective for today, as stated here, at the end of this lesson, the student should be able to define genetics, heredity, and variation. 2. You should be able to state transmittable characters in human beings. 3. You should be able to state transmittable characters in plants. 4. You should be able to define some terms used in genetics. Let us start. What is the meaning of genetics? In your SS1, you are taught different branches of biology, which include botany, zoology, ecology, entomology, physiology, anatomy, and so on and so forth, where we made mention of genetics. Now we want to look at genetics in detail. What is the meaning of genetics? Genetics can be simply defined as the scientific study of heredity and variation in living organisms. Let me draw your attention back. When we say, what is the meaning of heredity and what is variation, and also living organisms? I'll start with the first one, heredity. Heredity can be defined as the transmission of characters or traits that can be passed from parents to their young ones, that is, their offspring. Examples include blood group, tongue rolling, fingerprint, and so on and so forth. Now, variation. Variation refers to the differences that exist among individuals of the same species. If you look at your family, even though you are born by the same parents, you will notice that you are not all of the same height, you are not all of the same weight, you are not all of the same size, and also you are not all of the same eye color. The noticeable differences that exist within your family can be termed as what? Variation. Now, what is an organism? Organism simply means plant and animal. You can now put it together as the scientific study of what? Heredity and variation in living organisms. The next is transmittable characters in human beings. What are the examples of traits? What are the examples of character that a parent can pass to their young ones? They can pass to their offspring. Examples of transmittable characters in human beings include intelligence. If your parents are intelligent, there is likelihood that you are going to be intelligent. That is one of the what? Traits that we inherit from our parents. The second examples of transmittable character in human beings include shape of the head. We are not all of the same. Our hairs are different in terms of shape. We have some people with long head, we have some people with small head, we have some people with big head, and we have some people with long ogo, and so on and so forth. The third one is size of the part of the body, such as head. I've made mention of the head size before. We have different sizes. Nose. Some people have a broad nose, some have a short, where some have a pointed nose. Also, the ear. Some are with hair lobe, some are not with lobe. Is either you have hair lobe or you don't have at all. The fourth one is tongue rolling. This is the ability to roll your tongue like this. Some cannot roll their tongue, while some can what? Roll. Is either you are a roller or a non-roller. That is. The fifth one is skin pigmentation. This has to do with the complexion of your body. Skin color is determined by a pigment known as melanin. If you have melanin, you are going to be either dark or fair in complexion. But if you don't have this melanin, you are going to be referred to as albino. The next one is blood group. We have different blood group in animals, such as I'm a blood group A, B, AB, and O. These factors, this blood group, are inherited from our parents. They are passed from parent to their what? Offspring. The next one, number 7, is known as fingerprint. If you look at your thumb, you had an imprint, a rigid impression at the end of your thumb. You use it in the bank, you use it for biometric, and so on and so forth. No two individuals have the same fingerprint within your family. For example, your fingerprint can be hacked. It can also be wall. It can also be double wall. It can also be looped. We are going to explain this further when we get to the application of genetics. The next one is hair loops. If you look at your ear, there is a thick mass of skin below this part. If it is there, yes, it will be referred to as you have what? You have your ear is looped. But if you don't have, that is what? Your ear is what? Loopeless. The next one is rhesus factor. This is another antigen that was first discovered in monkey some years ago. Is it that you are rhesus positive or you are rhesus negative? What is rhesus positive and what is rhesus negative? Rhesus positive simply means you have the rhesus factor. Rhesus negative means you don't have the what? The rhesus factor. The next one is skin pigmentation. This has to do with your complexion. And the last one is fingerprint, finger type or finger length. We have some set of individual with extra toes, with extra finger. We have some people with long fingers, short fingers. These are the characters that we inherit from our parents. Okay, transmittable characters in plants. If you look at your garden, for example, you will notice that even though you have the same set of maize plants, they are not all of the same size. They are not all of the same height. The leaves are of different shapes. The color are different. The fruit size are also not the same. Now, what are the transmittable characters in plants? The first one is taste of the fruits. If you look at these two fruits I have with me, you will agree with me that this ripe one, the taste will be what? Better than these unripe fruits. That is the first examples of transmittable characters from the what? In plants. Though they are obtained from the same plant, the tastes are what? Different. The second one is size of the fruits. If you look at this fruit size, they are not of the same size. This one is smaller, this one is what? Bigger. The third one is height of the plant. The plants in our garden, they are not all the same. We have a tall one, we have the short plants. The fourth one is weight of the fruits. If you carry cucumber, for example, and you put it on a scale, they can never be of the same what? Weight. As a result of it, you say, oh, there are what? Noticeable differences among plants of the same what? Species. The fifth one is resistance to environmental factors. The way this plant responds to environmental resistance like drought, disease, and so pests, and so on and so forth, diverse. As a result of this, there are noticeable what? Differences. The characters are now being passed to their what? Next generation, to their young ones. The next one is the lifespan or habit of growth. The lifespan of fruits. We have some plants that are annual plants, we have some that are biennial plants, we have some that are perennial plants. Some plants can withstand environmental resistance and live on, while some might not be able to withstand it and die as a result of the competition. Next one is food content. The amount of food stored in each fruit are not the same. We have the leaves of different shapes. Look at this leaf, the leaf of this plant. This one is bigger and this one is smaller. They are found on the same plant. These are the noticeable differences. These are the characters that can be passed from one generation to another. The process by which these characteristics are being passed from parent to the offspring is known as what? Hereditary. The differences that exist among organisms of the same species is known as what? Variation. In short, you can just put genetics as a scientific study of hereditary and variation. Now, terminology used in genetics. I'm going to start from the basic one. Let me use this acronym. We have 3G. The first G is known as gene. The second one is known as gamete. While the third one is known as genotype. Let me start with the first one, gene. What is gene? This is the basic unit of inheritance. The factors that determine the characteristics of an organism is known as gene. It is located on the chromosomes, and the chromosome is found in the cell of a living organism. That is the cell of plants as well as the cell of animal. The second one is gamete. What is the meaning of gamete? Gamete is a mature reproductive sex cell that take part in sexual reproduction. We have two types of gamete. We have male gamete, we have female gamete. The male gamete in animal, it is called spermatozoon, while in plant, it is regarded as pollen grains. Also, the second type of gamete is known as female gamete. The female gamete is called egg cells in animal, ovules in plant. Don't forget, gametes are haploid. What is the meaning of haploid? And what is the meaning of diploid? I'm going to come to this in our next class. But what is haploid? Haploids are number of chromosomes that are found in the sex cell of an organism, and it is usually represented as N. That is N from male gametes plus another N from female gamete will give you 2N. The 2N is called diploid number of chromosomes, the total number of chromosomes found in the body of a living organism. It varies from one species to another. The total number of chromosomes in man is 46. It is not the same in cat, it is different in dog, it is different in garden pea, and so on and so forth. The next term is called genotype. The genotype is the sum total of the genetic constitution, the genetic makeup of a living organism. It is independent of the environment. The environment doesn't have influence on the genotype. For example, if you are living in a rural area, it does not affect your intelligence. It does not determine whether you are going to be smart or you are going to be stupid. It is independent of what? Of the environment. But when we are talking about the next terminology used, phenotype, this can be defined as the sum total of all observable features or characteristics of an organism. It is the physical, the behavioral trait that is seen in an organism, and it is formed as a result of interaction between environment and the gene. Let me explain this further. Look at your garden. If you plant a maize under tree in the forest and you plant another one in an open field, you will discover that the plant in an open field will yield well, will grow well, but the plant under trees in the forest will be stunted, will show yellow coloration of the leaf because it's competing with the big trees for the nutrients in the soil. As a result of this, you can see that the environment is having influence on the what? The outlook of this what? Maize plant. As a result of this, we say genotype is independent of the what? Of the environment. It does not matter whether you are taught or you are not taught. If you are smart, you are smart. But the phenotype, it has to do with what? The influence of the environment as well as the influence of the gene. Let me buttress this again. If you are living in a war zone, in an area where there is no food, you are going to be stunted in terms of growth. But if you are living in Port Harcourt, for example, where you are given 3 square meal a day, you are going to be what? Your growth will be normal. Okay, the next one is traits. What is a trait? A trait is any feature possessed by an organism. Another name for trait is also known as characteristics. Examples of traits include seed color, height of plants, color of animals. Is either you are fair or you are what? Albino. Is either you are tall or you are what? Short. The seed color is either you are yellow or you are green. Is either you are the fruit color or the fruit shape is either you are round or you are wrinkled. These are the features possessed by an organism. The next one is chromosomes. Chromosomes are thread-like structure found in the nucleus of a cell. In your SS1, you are taught mitosis and meiosis, where we made mention of process of cell division. In the nucleus of a cell, if you have the nucleus, there is a if you have a cell, there is a nucleus at the side of the cell in plant cell. This nucleus has a chromatin material and nucleus. The thread-like structure that is found in the nucleus of a cell is known as the chromosomes, and it can replicate itself. That is what is called chromosome. What does chromosome contain? Chromosome bear genes. It contains gene, and the gene is located on a spot known as locus. The next terminology is locus. What is a locus? A locus is a definite position of chromosomes on a gene. For example, if you have the chromosome like this, the point on the chromosome, where the genes are located is known as the locus. The location of a gene on a chromosome is known as what? The locus. The next one is allele. Allele is a pair of genes of contrasting character. For example, the gene controlling a character known as height a gene controlling character of what? Height. You can either be tall or short. The alternate form of tallness is what? Shortness. And the alternate form of shortness is what? Tallness. That is, the alternate form of gene controlling a particular character in an offspring is known as what? The allele. The next one is hybrid. This is the offspring produced from a cross between two parents that are of contrasting character. For example, you have a tall plant and a short plant. The tallness, the character of this is what? The allele is T. This one is T, small t. The offspring that we are going to get from these two contrasting characters will be known as what? The hybrid. The next one is dominant character. What is a dominant character? This is the character that is shown, that is expressed in an offspring. That is the one that is effect is visible, is known to us, is known as what? The dominant character. When two contrasting characters are crossed. The next one is recessive character. Recessive character. This is the trait whose effect does not show, is not known, does not appear in an organism. For example, if you are tall, it doesn't mean that you don't have the gene for shortness. In an heterozygous individual, what is shown is what? Tallness. But the small t represents the what? The shortness. It is not known, it is not shown. This is what is known as what? The recessive character. The character that is masked, that is fact is not what? Known, or that is not shown or appear. That is what is called recessive character. The next one is what is called homozygous. A diploid individual whose two copies of gene are the same is known as homozygous. For example, you have the gene for tallness, T, and T. This pair of genes is known as what? Homozygous. It has the same copy. It has two copies of genes for the same character. It is known as what? Homozygous. The next one is heterozygous. A diploid individual carrying two different alleles on a gene, two different alleles of a gene on its two homologous chromosomes is known as heterozygous. For example, a gene controlling height, a particular gene controlling height is either tall or what? Short. Now, if you have a gene like this, T, small t, you have two different genes for a particular what? Character. The gene here is what? That is shown here is what? Tallness. But the character that is shown here is what? Tallness. But you have two genes. The one for what? Tallness, the one for what? Shortness. The next one is zygote. What is a zygote? A zygote is a single cell formed as a result of a union between male gamete and female gamete. I've explained myself on this before. The male gamete, the spermatozoa, and the what? The egg cell. The product of the union of these two gametes is known as what? Zygote. And zygote is usually diploid in number because the male gamete is N, while the female gamete is also N. N plus N, we have what? 2N, and the 2N is known as what? Diploid number of chromosomes. The next one is filial generation. What is filial generation? The offspring produced from two parents with contrasting characters. Offspring produced from a cross between two parents, a tall parent and a short parent, a red flower and a white flower. The offspring that is obtained from the cross of these two plants is known as what? First filial generation. The next one is hybrid figure. If you have a goat, for example, within this area, and you bring another goat from maybe northern part of the country, they are of the same species. They are known as what? Goats, and you allow them to breed, to mate together. You produce a new variety, a new young one that is well adapted to the environment, that produce more milk, more meat, and more energy, that is better in the what? Environment. That is what is known as what? Hybrid figure. We can simply put hybrid figure as a production of a new variety within a species which are healthier and better adapted to the environment. The last thing to look at is terms and symbols used in genetics. We have dominant allele. The symbol for dominant is represented as with capital T. The second one is recessive allele. This is the allele. This is the character that its effect is not shown, and the allele for recessive, for the symbol for the recessive allele is small t. It represents shortness or dwarfness. The next one is homozygous. If you have the same allele for a particular character, capital T, capital T. The next one is heterozygous. You have two dissimilar allele for a particular character. For example, height. It is represented as capital T, small t. Or you can also have for a red flower. capital R and small r. The small r is for white, while the big R is for what? Red. The contrasting form for red color is what? Is white, and the contrasting form for white color is red. That is, the allele is, this one is what? Heterozygous individual. Now, the next one is genotype for tallness. It is, the symbol for tallness is T. The gene controlling a character always occur in a pair. You have capital T, capital T. That is for tallness. Capital T, small t for tallness too. That is heterozygous tallness. Tall. The next one is genotype for shortness. It is represented as double small t. The next one, first filial generation. The symbol for first filial generation is F1. Second filial generation, F2. The male is, the symbol is this, while the female is this. The P1 represents parent gamete, while the X represents cross. Finally, assignment. You have to look for the meaning of this term. 1. Define the following: genetics, heredity, variation. 2. Outline any 3 transmittable characters in plants and animals. 3. Explain the following terminologies: mutation, codominant, dominant gene, and nucleotide. Thank you and stay safe.